Hi there, my name is Jesse Cickavage. I'm an advocate of Families United Action Network, also known as FUAN. I first got in touch with FUAN just after I went through divorce, and I encountered a lot of injustices and unfairness in the family court system. And there's a lot of intelligent people and a lot of resources in FUAN available to make people's lives a lot easier before, during, and after divorce, and I wish that I had known about that during mine. So I feel that that's worth telling people about. A couple issues that I'm passionate about is one is shared care. I think it's pretty unreasonable that people can raise their kids and be together, and all of a sudden, once the divorce is going on, then now it's up to a judge to decide who the better parent is. Especially when studies show that equal time with both parents is in the best interest of the child. This system seems like it's just kind of set up to line lawyer pockets with tens of thousands of dollars. Another thing that kind of coincides with that is child support. Everyone kind of talks about child support, and anytime you mention it, someone thinks you just don't want to pay for your kids. But there's a lot of people overburdened with child support, and all it's doing is supplementing the income of the other parent. And I don't see why there can't be a minimum standard of care established. There's a minimum cost of living established for bankruptcy for adults, and that determines whether you qualify for bankruptcy or not. It's very clear in law, and I don't see why that can't apply towards children, and why we have this income-based money grab of child support going on. That does not seem to benefit the interest of the children at all. It seems to be, like I said, just a money grab, and I think it's best if both parents accept the responsibility of taking care of their kids on their own, and splitting the cost instead of how it's currently functioning. Another issue is quite a big one. It's civil protective orders, also known as the nuclear weapon of divorce. How these work is, well, one parent issues a complaint, and a judge writes a ex parte order, which means that there's no hearing. You're just served and kicked out of your house. A lot of constitutional rights are taken from you, including custody of your children until a hearing is decided on. You can't even visit your kids at school, for example. You will be arrested. The biggest issue with those are, it doesn't have, like many people know in a criminal trial, guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That is what's called a burden of proof. The burden of proof for civil protective orders is called preponderance of evidence. So whoever the judge believes 51% wins. And this can be pretty devastating when for example, a lot of times they'll combine that protective order hearing with the temporary matters hearing, and which is where you're supposed to fight for who gets the kids during the divorce, which is another interesting concept. Why not? Why isn't it 50-50? But it can be pretty devastating for you to argue your case when you've been accused or you have a protective order on you. And that doesn't seem quite fair when protective orders are issued on potentially literally no evidence at all, and maybe even evidence to the contrary. And they're about as easy to get as a hunting license. So any attorney issuing those should not be an attorney. That's highly unethical, but that's how it's currently set up. So I got to thinking, how can I help FUAN, especially given these issues? And I went on their website, and on there, in their volunteer section, they say that your time is as good or better than your money. So I figured that since I'm a welder fabricator and an engineer, I work on a lot of boats here in my company. I repair and modify boats, and a good friend of mine has given me a boat hull, and it's really a classic. It's a 1959 Naden. And the thing is really unique, and it's made right here in Iowa. So I think that's pretty fitting for this exact cause. What I'd like to do is raffle it off to benefit FUAN. And we're going to need your help with that. Let me take a walk, and I'll show you what the thing looks like. Okay, so as you can see, it's a very classic looking boat, extremely deep hull. It has a covered bow, a bow handle. I believe it has all of the Naden original hardware. It's riveted, built extremely solid. It used to have a canopy. Let's see. It used to have a windshield. I think we might be able to replace. It has the original fuel tanks, and as you can see, it's really a big boat. I believe it's an 8-person. And what we need is someone to help with donating a outboard motor. It'll take up to an 85 horsepower. We also need a trailer for a 17.5 foot, I believe it's a semi V bottom. And someone to blast it and give it a new paint job. And I'll be taking care of the bodywork and the transom and all the holes and any dents and dings, and making sure that there's no leaks. But we're really going to need your help to get this completed, and I think it's a really good cause. FUAN works very hard lobbying for family law. I haven't seen any groups lobby as hard as FUAN does, so I know that this is worthy, and definitely would appreciate if you'd spread awareness and help us find help for finishing this project. To contribute or follow up, you visit familiesunite.org, and we'll see you there. Thank you very much.